Welcome, welcome, welcome to Transmissions of the Heart with Divinely Sah'RAH. I am so excited about our show today, but before we get started with our special guest, ZaDora Williams, we're going to start off with prayer. So first of all, we would just like to give honor to all seven directions: north, east, south, west, above, below, and within. And with that, we would like to give high honors to our uplifted ancestors, our guides, our fierce protectors, and skilled healers. Please stand with us, be with us at all times, and guide us along this journey with a leveled head and an open heart. We are root of your root. We are soil of your soil. We are bone of your bone, and we are flesh of your flesh. Not deaf to our sincere cries, not blind to our honest plea. Thank you for being the whisper in our ears that protects and guides us along this divine journey called life. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. I'm so excited to have ZaDora Williams in the house. How you doing, sis?
I am well. As good as can be. I'm a little sleepy sound, but
I know.
We got plans for that later.
We do. So we're gonna have to be up right now. So I just want to let our listeners know that ZaDora Williams has a vast of knowledge under her belt. She is a mental health and wellness expert. She is a public speaker. She is an educator. She is a Black family advocate. And she got her own business, y'all. Sankofa Center of Healing. Okay? And that's just the least of it. Okay? She's a mother. She's my friend. She's a beautiful person. She's been involved in all my businesses.
For real.
Okay?
For real.
So no one knows you better than you know yourself. So can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yes. Hi, y'all.
Thank you.
I am ZaDora, also known as Sunflower Z, the light, the healer, the all I can be. It is Z. Yeah. What can I say? I am just a person who loves and enjoys healing others and enjoys being the light. Like, I realize I shine and people get a little buzz off my energy, and I realize that. And I'm like, not only am I healing people when I heal people, but my presence is also very healing and just a light to be around. So I kind of just started honoring and owning that I'm a light.
A light that shines brightly all the time, in or out of the darkness. Okay,
that is facts.
Because no matter where I see you or meet up with you, you are always very upbeat, no matter what. How did you get like that, sis? Like, how can we all partake in that energy?
Get some Libra in your chart. Get some Libra.
Get some balance. You said get some balance.
Yes.
I heard that. I love that. Girl, you said, look, what is that? That reminds me of the deity Ma'at, right? Because Ma'at loves balance. Love to balance the scales. And with me being an Aries, Libra is the sign that helps to balance me out. It's the opposite. It's on the opposite ends of the scale, right?
Oh,
Aries and Libra.
Best friend is Aries.
Right. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Like it's that fire. It's that fire, sis.
No. I know all about it.
Right. So one thing tell us a little bit about how you became who you are today. How you became the mental health specialist, what influenced you to start your own business. But I like to start at the beginning, right? Because everyone has a story of how they grew up. Most people have seen things since they were small. They knew they had healing hands, or there was something special or unique.
Oh, I knew I had these hands from the beginning. I had hands, baby. Chicago raised me, baby. I knew that.
Right.
I knew them hands could be used for healing too, though. That's
Right.
what I didn't know.
Right. Your hands and your presence. Okay. So tell us a little bit about your journey. Well, I'm sitting here sipping my tea. I want to hear about the whole journey.
I already know. I'm gonna give you these.
All right.
I'm gonna give you them piping hot parts and the lukewarm tea. The tea that you
give
forgot.
us the tea. Give us the tea,
girl. Yeah. Okay. What's the tea? So pretty much, I would say this mental health expert journey definitely started when I was a kid, living on the east side of Chicago. 79th and Marquette for my people who out in them shy,
Hey.
But no, for real, just growing up and witnessing what was going on in my community. Like I lived in a neighborhood which I loved. I did not know much outside of my neighborhood. Like as far as suburbs? Things exist outside of my little community, which I've known majority of my life. Yeah. And after just seeing the kids in school, my classmates, my friends off the block, the way they would kind of be treated or kind of quickly labeled as bad kids and such. And I was like, I just wasn't okay with that even then, because my mom, our house growing up, we was that house on the block. My mom was like the mother to everybody. So
I love that.
But it was always like 10 of us at any given time, baby. We would be piled up laps on laps in a 20,000, baby.
Yes, that's that tribe.
No, for real. And that's what I grew up in, is witnessing my mom be the social worker of the block. Essentially be the social worker of the block.
What's that? Okay, so not to interrupt your flow, but was she a social worker in real life? Like, was that her calling?
So later on, she did dabble. She was actually an early childhood educator and also OB-GYN. My mom was a nurse delivering babies. That was her whole journey, but always around kids
I love that.
So that's interesting. Yes. I
get
a lot of that from my mom.
You get it from your mama.
Yes. So my kids, definitely we seen a lot of gang activity, a lot of drugs. Parents that was on drugs. My mom just always kind of was that person. Like I said, her house was the safety house. It was the place you could come get food. You could go experience things, because my mom was, I'm not just taking my kids. We all going to the museum. We all going to this park. We all going to travel. Yeah. So I grew up in that very environment, and I also knew what was going on in other people's households. So when I would go to school and hear teachers like saying how some of these kids that I know were bad, and then I'm like, man, if you knew what happened last night, you would understand why the kid was asleep in class. Yeah. You would understand why this kid is, look, don't want to do this, can't be told. Like, you would understand. But, at that age, all I knew is I didn't like it, and ZaDora had a tune on her in a fat amount. So I was just a young advocate already. Like, that was me. That's the only thing I would get in trouble for in school would be talking back. Because if you talking foul about one of my friends, and I know that's not true, I got a problem with it, and I'll speak up on it. So, right. And a lot of different, just little conversations, little pink slips here and there.
You were an advocate at a young age, girl. That's what that's called. It's called an advocate.
No, for real. That's what I'm like. When I look back, I was like, yo, I was using my mouth because I knew it wasn't right. Yeah. And just growing up, it just furthered my own curiosity to want to understand why some of the folks that was why they did behave the way they did. Because I want to understand, like, I can see, but I wanted to understand so that I can help, like, hey, facilitate those conversations. Like, no, this is really what's going on. Not what you see, but this. Right. So that just led down the path of, I ended up working with kids and families in every opportunity, from preschool teacher, and then college, I studied psychology, because I'm like, I want to know about the mind. I want to understand behavior. I want to understand, and I want to be able to take it back and do work with my community to help them heal. But also, I was really thinking a lot about the schools and kids and really trying to shift that narrative around, okay, how they see Black children, and also how can y'all be more supportive of them as far as their mental health goes. So,
right.
Yeah, that's like pivotal as far as I seen something I didn't like it, and I was activated at a literally this is first grade ZaDora. This is first grade ZaDora.
Wow.
And kindergarten ZaDora was also still a firecracker because, baby, I see my son, and
right.
I was like, baby, that was me in kindergarten.
You and him, right?
But it's just really just that community aspect. So my mom, I seen them with my mom, and she was also a home daycare provider. So I also got to do that, got to experience working with kids, working with families, seeing my mom nurture other folks. And that just became the framework. And little did I know, it's actually aligned with where my natural gift sets are as far as what I was born with. It aligns perfectly to be a healer, to be a mental healer, because I do. I'm just naturally very understanding. Analytical, baby.
Right. Well, don't you?
I'm gonna analyze tea out of something. No.
Well, you'd be the perfect person to go to then, right? Because we don't want nobody to just,
Exactly.
We want them to know and ask questions.
Exactly, thorough.
You know what, sis? Not many people get out of the part of the world that you are from.
Oh yeah.
How did it feel when you were actually able to leave your neighborhood and move somewhere else? Did you have to leave a lot of friends behind, or?
I did. I didn't like it. I wasn't happy because when we moved from the city of Chicago, we moved to Ohio, then back, and then lived in the suburbs. And to be honest, I mean, the city was all I knew. Like when you grow up and you really do not understand that something exists past the certain streets that you were permitted to go to, I really hadn't. It cracks me up when I think about it like that. I really had no existence that things really existed outside of Chicago, like little towns, suburbs, until we had to move there. And I was like, what is this? These people are different. They were not like what I was used to at all. So that was I would say a transition that's at the beginning of my own healing. This is where things start to shift for me and things for myself, because we moved, of course, out of divorce support. So it's like, hey, leaving the city was not easy because that's where my family was, friends, and everything that we're accustomed to. Like my grandpa lived next door. Now we have to drive to see Papa. Now we don't see Papa every day. We see him on the weekends. So it changed a lot, but it was also, it was good. I mean, it was good because also I got to see the difference in education.
Right.
Chicago public school versus out in the south suburbs. It was very different. Definitely we did move back to the city in my high school years as well. So I did get to compare it again. And I was like, ooh, this what y'all at? I took this in the suburbs as a sophomore. This what y'all taking as seniors? So it just really, to be honest, looking back now, like it really set the foundation for a lot of the things that I stand for, that I speak on now, that I'm in school systems talking about. It's like, I got to experience, I know the difference in education level, depending on where you live. I know the different access to food, depending on where you live, so it's interesting. But we make it out. It's plenty of us make it out.
Right.
We make it out, and we come back. But the winters in Chicago is brutal until them seasons change. I can't come back.
Right. I heard you need a nice big thick coat.
You do, baby.
To visit that part of the world.
The Columbians out here will get you right, because you need that level of a jacket. Good quality. No.
So what it sounds like, because you work with Black families, right? You're a Black family advocate.
Exactly.
So is that what sparked you to want to do that type of work? Like, how did you know that I want to specifically work with my people?
That's what I grew up around. It's like, that's who I see.
Right.
Unfortunately, white people did not exist for me until When we moved to Ohio, I was my first time seeing white folks. Was when we moved to Ohio. In my community, baby, where?
Wow.
Black people. That's all. So diversity outside of the folks that ran the corner store and the Asian folks in the beauty supply. My community Black. So that's what I grew up. That's what I wanted to. That's who I wanted to. Those are the individuals, the problems, the issues that I seen were in my community, and that's what motivated me to go into this line of work. So those are the exact people that I want to help. Granted, I have worked with all folks, all walks of life, but I'm very clear. And when it comes to my practice, who I am serving is my community, African Americans, Black folks that are the spirit. I want it. That's it. Just all of us. And that's just about also knowing like there's not many of us. Right. And I'm sorry, our healers should be for us. Yes. Because the others, they come in, it's 10, probably 10 to 1. 10 therapists, probably 50 therapists to one Black therapist, or maybe 100 out here. But that's just something of like how I also feel like it's just culturally responsible. Why do I want to give a space to someone else when I know my community is in dire need? Right. So it became even stronger when I actually started going on my own cultural identity journey and like really understanding the importance of this work that I am doing and I will continue to do. And it's just like, other folks are giving this information. It's my duty. It's my purpose to take this information that is readily available and all kind of embedded into the DNA fibers of others of how they need to help themselves. And we are now relearning and re-getting our information of healing back. So it's just like, I take it and I'm the one that's going to bring the information that has been stigmatized, that has been colonized, that has been stolen, that we think is not for us. I'm bringing that back and also changing the perspective so that folks can start to value this beautiful thing of a mind. Yes. And seeing that it is just as important. This inner beauty is as important as this. So. Right. Yeah.
And I loved how you kind of touched on your own healing journey, because I know most of us that consider ourselves as healers, we have a story as well, right?
Yeah.
We are healers.
You don't have a story. I'm curious about look. I don't know.
Look, because we're able to pull from our own medicine bag to help assist others, right?
Exactly.
So you know, I'm sipping my tea, y'all. I want to hear about we want to hear about your healing journey. Okay,
y'all. Tune in, story time.
We ready.
It started 3 years ago on a lovely evening after I enjoyed a fabulous dinner at a girlfriend's house. Yes, had this lovely experience, followed by a car ride home. Don't mind me, y'all, I'm dramatic, as y'all can see. But no, it did start back in 2018. When the birth of my son. That is when my healing journey officially, like, that was the straw, because that pregnancy, I was not well during that pregnancy. I was very much depressed, very much just not happy. I was not happy. And it showed. I didn't read to my baby. None of the things I did with first baby. I did none of those things. And I had multiple miscarriages in between child number 1, child number 2. And so my attachment just was different. I would say the Virgo in me, when it comes to protecting myself, baby, walls come up. And after those miscarriages, I was just like, I'm not attaching to any more pregnancies because clearly they're not sticking. So even when that pregnancy came with my son, I was just like, I'm not going to attach. Because I can't take another miscarriage, feeling all down and all of those things when you lose the baby and you thought you were about to have it. It's like, So I was like, okay, I'm just not even going to touch to. This is so far and so extreme. This is how you know I just was not with. It's like, I ain't going to do it until it's the safe zone of you can't have miscarriages, which was around, okay, maybe it was that week 27, 28, the risk and it is just, okay. I went majority of my pregnancy pretty miserable. And not attuned, not attached, not connecting with my baby at all. And so when I had, it was Thanksgiving of 2017, and as I was pregnant with my son, and I got in the shower, and I promise, I don't know if it's soap, but I seen some pink discolored fluid in the tub, and it's maybe sent me into a tizzy. Thanksgiving, all I could say is, thank goodness my family loved me because I was a bear. I was not nice that holiday. And I had family from out of town. It was the last holiday with my mother-in-law. And I wasn't even in a very kind space with her. And it was so just so overwhelming to be thinking I'm about to lose my baby again. And I just freaked out and pretty much, I definitely think I stepped on a few people and just went into my room and cried and shut myself off from the rest of the family. Until I was like ready to like let them know, like, okay, because nobody had knew outside of my husband. And of course my mom knew about one miscarriage, nobody knew about the multiple miscarriages. And it's like, it was just one after the other. So when I just had explained to them, like, I'm sorry, I'm a witch. I think I seen some blood and I don't know and all of that. So just like, just for my baby to be born in January from an emergency C-section because my placenta abrupted. So, and I was saying that going to this story because it wasn't until that moment of that I felt like I was having a miscarriage that snatched me out of that depressive and just place that I was in with that pregnancy. It pulled me out, and I was, oh my God. And when I found out it wasn't one, I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry. Then I felt so guilty for wasting all those weeks, not connecting with my son the way that I enjoyed with my daughter, and just really trying to catch up. I'm like, now I'm trying to read all the time to him, trying to talk to him. I'm trying to rub on my belly, do all the things, and then just for it to end in an emergency C-section with, unfortunately, my son's life on the line, my life on the line. Him, it was, when you say divine intervention, that's the only thing that saved me that day and my son, because we were both, I was home alone when that happened. And how much pain, because I can tell you, trigger warning for folks who are listening. It gets graphic, so please take a break if you need to, ground yourself, because my healing journey is not for the light. It is not for the light, and it's bloody, shall I say.
So before you go into that, what would you say to mothers or future mothers who may have or who may experience exactly what you experienced with the detachment from your unborn child because of the thought of you actually losing him? Now that you know what you know now, what would you have told your past self or future mothers or mothers who are experiencing this?
Do it anyway. We can't live out of fear. Yeah. We cannot parent out of fear. It's like, it's okay. And you know what? Losses happen. And I'm sorry, they're for a reason. That's my own personal journey. Everything that happened, it is for a reason. Whether you understand it in that moment, it is for a reason. And sometimes it takes later for it to be revealed. But that's what I would say. Don't let your fear stop you from being who you are. Because those were things I enjoyed doing. Being pregnant, reading, doing my belly rubs, everything. Like going to prenatal aerobics. I didn't even do that. I didn't do it at the time. I didn't do much. So that's what I was saying. It's okay. That's beautiful. Even if it feels awkward, because it will feel awkward when you do not feel connected. It's gonna feel awkward, but you'll work through it. So, you do it because, and then if they make it, if the pregnancy comes full time, great. And if it doesn't, you know what? You honored yourself, and you still were being a mom. That baby is your baby. You were still nurturing it. So to see it as, even though they're not from the outside living, I'm still gonna love on you while I can. Yes.
So love with an open heart, no matter what. Yes. No fear, because
it's okay. Just
those of us, those of us who have a higher understanding know that babies choose to come. It's on their terms.
No, because right. He chose.
We not running nothing as I sip my tea. Okay. And so, I'll just thank you so much for sharing something so personal about your journey. Because I know that is just the beginning. Yeah. Right. That we are here to heal every day, all day, that the healing journey never ends. And although that we are healers and we know we have techniques that we use, we still go through stuff. We still living life. We still breathing. We real. It ain't perfect. We real people. Like if I pinch myself, it hurt. Ouch. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, look, we ain't on here trying to make it seem like we perfect and our stuff don't stink, because it's real life out here. It is real life. And I couldn't even imagine, sis. I couldn't even imagine being in that type of position or feeling the way that you felt and not knowing and, and having fear creep up on you, because fear creeps up on all of us, although we know it's not real. Everybody out here with a belly button has felt fear.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody with a belly. So if you do not have a belly button, then you are extinct from this information.
Yes.
But I didn't want to, kind of interrupt your thought, but I know you're going to move on to something else, but I just had to, for those who are listening or probably being triggered, and, they should know that it's not the end all, to just always love and do no harm. So thank you for sharing that. So I'm going to sip my tea and listen to the rest.
No tea, sis. Okay. So yes, y'all, pretty much, because my placenta abrupted, it detached. Nutrients, oxygen, all those things your baby needs. My baby was being deprived of it. And unfortunately, like I said, I was at home alone and in excruciating pain. And I tell you, that pain of your placenta detaching. All I can say is this Black woman, unfortunately, has a high tolerance for pain, but that was excruciating. Like it was definitely, and I will tell you about the motherly instincts, the willpower of a mom, because I was in the bathroom. Like I said, it's bloody. It's bloody, and I'm a person. I cannot take looking at blood. Makes me weak, makes me pass out. Everybody knows you get an injury around ZaDora, Just forget about it. Take care of you. Take care of her.
Every man for themselves.
No, for real. That's one reason why I couldn't follow my mom's path. For real. See, nurse, I can't do blood. I can't. But it was like everything that, and I called my midwife, let her know, I'm like, something's wrong. I'm in a lot of pain. Get here. My husband's at the gym. He's not answering the phone. I have no one. And I'm at home with Zanaya, and I'm just bleeding, and I'm laying on the bathroom floor in pain, crying. And my baby, my little princess, had to see that. So, call me, of course, door's locked. I'm in the bathroom on the floor in pain. It's really hard for me to move. Can't walk. She's like busting at the door. She's just like, I'm going to have to kick the door in. And I'm like, I'm trying to get to the door. My daughter's not old enough to actually reach the locks. So I was like, it's either I can stay here, lay on this floor, pass out, or I can at least pull myself up to the sink, put some cold water on my face, and get to that door, because it's something ain't right, and I need to be able to get to that door. And that's exactly what I did. Pull myself up on that sink, cold water to the face, and crawl, walk, however I could to the door, open that door, and lay down on the couch. And that is where, and it's so crazy because I tell you how items will still give you will give you flashbacks. Because to this day, that sofa, I will see blood on that sofa, even though it's not blood there. If I look, I will still see flashbacks of my blood on our couch that we had. And it's like the trauma of it all. That going to, experiencing what I experienced, and then going to my birthing center when I was about to finally have the birth that I wanted to have, my water birth, my natural birth, and can't do it. My baby's heart rate is too low. When she was struggling to find my baby's heartbeat, I knew it was a problem. Because it don't take that long to find his heartbeat. That baby been solid. It's no issue. So when she told me, like, okay, sorry, I know you don't want this, but you're gonna have to go to the emergency room, ambulance, everything. And all the time, I'm still losing blood throughout it all, Lord. And it's so interesting because you never really think about who's all impacted by what's happening to you. But it's so funny. One of my good girlfriends that I had that was supposed to keep Zanaya when I had the baby, she came, and it wasn't literally big guy's about to be 4. It's almost 3 years later. She just told me, she's like, that I was traumatized by your birth. She wasn't even that. She didn't even have to see me. All she seen was all the blood. She like, when I came to get Zanaya, she's like, that traumatized. So I can only imagine what you went through, just because what I went through, just seeing it.
Right.
Just a glimpse. Didn't feel nothing. Didn't see, that wasn't even the bad part. I was traumatized when I seen my baby. When they gave me my baby's picture for the first time, they made me want to slap them doctors. We'll get there. But yeah, so just kind of going through that painful experience. Like I said, my life was literally turned upside down with the birth of my son. And what came out of that traumatic experience, because he had to be resuscitated. He had to spend time in the NICU. My baby wasn't even a baby. When they gave me the picture of my son, of course, I didn't get to see him for the first time. Didn't get to hold him immediately. Was this picture that I used in one of my trainings I did for Providence this year to tell them how untrauma informed they are, and how disrespectful and how they cause harm to us Black moms. Because I was like, I'm sorry. That is not the picture that you give. That ain't what you give no parent. My baby covered in tubes. You can't see a baby. He has on a big machine around his mouth. There's things coming. You could have, I didn't need to see my baby like that. Not at the first, I did not need to see my baby like that. That is not what I was looking for. So yeah, that experience, going through that, dealing with, like I said, when you experience birth trauma and then all the physicians telling you all these things that your son, oh, he's going to have this issue. Oh, he's having seizures. He's going to have seizures. He could potentially have autism. He's this. I mean, literally going through all these things and how my baby just, I mean, he's a miracle baby. They definitely coined him that there, and he was their miracle baby because never, they would not have ever imagined for my son. He lost a lot of oxygen to his brain and he had to undergo hypothermic treatments, which anyone who's had a baby in a NICU that had to go through that, it's brutal. Talk about a fresh newborn baby sitting on a cold hypothermia mat for 72 hours, having to make tough decisions about, okay, we're hearing our baby scream. Do we give our baby morphine? They wanted to give him morphine. We don't give drugs.
No, no.
That's what your mom was on. Literally in a panic state on how do we take care of our baby in the NICU? Because he is screaming bloody murder. And that also ain't good for him. So, I mean, sis, that experience, all I can say, the experience of a lifetime, the most, definitely one of the most terrible things I've experienced, humbling things, showed me the power of my voice, of thoughts, of to speak, because when I tell you that a level of calm that came over me as I laid in that hospital bed post C-section, and the strength that I had, baby, for one, they was in disbelief that I did not want a narcotic for my pain meds after that C-section. No, ma'am. Ibuprofen, it's fine for me. It's doing it. But just realizing that I lost my train of thought. How about that?
But honestly, like, just to go back a little bit, like right now, if we were to speak about present day, like, what is the relationship like between your daughter and your son?
Who, those two? They're like regular siblings. Fight, play.
Right.
They're jealous of each other. One thinks the other one gets the most time. But it really, to be honest, it's beautiful. It was beautiful when it started. It's still beautiful, but it's that transition piece where their little sister is tired of little brothers or something.
Right. So they're normal. They're normal.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. It's the normal sibling stuff about now.
Right.
But I would tell you that little girl of mine, her relationship with her baby brother when he came home, beautiful.
Yes.
The way she tried to help mommy take care of him. When she first seen him in the NICU, seeing her little brother, so beautiful. My baby she was mommy's helper with everything.
Right.
And it's funny because she brings that up to this day because she'll refer back to that because right now she's in the, I don't like him. I wish he was a baby again. I liked him then. He's destroying my stuff. So
that's what brothers do.
I know. They really do.
They destroy your stuff.
That is what they do.
That's what they do.
Brothers.
Yes. So sis, with all that going on, what are some of the tools in your medicine bag that you use to heal from that and continue to heal from that? What are the things that you had to do to recover?
First thing was therapy. Yes. I was that therapist that did not have a therapist. Because I can also say that, baby, I'm that Black too.
Right.
Okay, is it okay? Because it was lagging.
Oh, yes, you're fine now.
Okay, I'm like, I plugged in my charger and then it started acting like it wanted to disconnect. Okay, but I wasn't Black. No, that's the way I was raised too. You don't talk to no shrink. You don't talk to no therapist. You just, you ain't spilling no business. And that's real, because baby, as much as I struggled in silence.
Right.
I never felt comfortable talking to anybody Black, for one, even about what I was going through.
Oh, wow.
Like, this is the stuff that people don't talk about. White folks don't talk about mental health. I'm sorry. Not even when I was growing up. Those conversations in my household, not in my aunt's household, not in the house, even though our family members were dying by suicide. We still have those conversations. So, wow. And you would think, after one person successfully completes, and then somebody else attempts, and it's like, nope, nobody's still talking about it. And here I am, the person like, wow, I've been feeling that way. Wow. But never had anyone to really talk to about that. But always somehow, something always kept me going. And it's like, that is why. That's why I'm here. That's why I do the work that I do. And I think that's why my people that choose to heal with me, they love and they know it's an experience like no other. Because I'm coming from such an authentic place. And they don't have to know they don't know my personal journey. But I would tell you how energy works and everything, because I always get clients that are little pieces of me. And as I'm healing now, I heal different pieces of me. And I'm like, how is it that I have a caseload? What different from my youngest was 9 and my oldest was 38. And yet we all have similar shared experiences.
Yes. We're reflections of one another.
Yes. And I'm just like, how is it that I just keep drawing people that mirror some point or some piece of me? And there be ways that you don't even realize until you're doing the work with them. And you're like, you tell them like, wow, you actually just helped me. And this is what it's about. It's not it's we are both healers, and I'm helping you access your self-healing so that you can realize the power within, and you're also helping me heal. Reciprocity,
Yes, that's real. That's real, sis. Because just like you said, healers also have healers, because to know that you are a healer is to know that you have all the tools within yourself to heal, correct? And so as a healer, I always call myself a guide, because we're on this journey together. Just like you said, it's reciprocity. I'm learning from you and you're learning from me. There's no overlord.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so
I am no better.
Right. We are here on this journey, just walking each other home, right?
That's it. I'm here to be with you.
Yes. And so we come into divine alignment with those who are meant to be in our life, right? Because everyone we see is a divine reflection, whether we like them or not.
Yes.
Right? Yes. They are a divine reflection. And your work is so needed, sis, because there's a lot of people that look like us that think that they don't need help, or I'm not going to sit down and speak to nobody. Or I know, in Oregon, it's really hard to find someone who looks like you.
No.
Right. And so for you to specifically have time for people who look like you in our community is really, really, really important to be doing that type of work, because when you are sitting across from somebody who is your divine reflection, it's a little easier to get things out, right? The connection is different. The energy, you can feel the energy.
The empowerment
is a lot different. Yes.
Because you can't tell. I don't want to look at somebody else and you tell me how you did, and I'm gonna tell you like, sorry, your experience ain't similar to mine, because baby, your heel was a little different.
Right.
But when I'm looking across from somebody else that looks like me, and it's some validity to, hey, you know what? From here, this is some tools that I've tried. You can try them yourself, but they work. So,
right. So, wow, amazing. So before we move on, is there anything else about your healing journey that you would like to share? Because I know
Yeah, I'm gonna give
I
y'all
know, and I'm
yes.
asking you guys because I know this woman has
No.
truly healed herself.
So many gems.
Okay. And I'm not gonna let anybody miss out on this. So
okay, because this has been a 3-year healing journey. 3 years of healing. And I can tell you that 3 years of putting in the work, baby, it's worth it. And that's why I'm out. That is why I'm like out here trying to tell people, when you see this glow, join the team. I'm trying to tell you how to get it, because I want this. I don't want to be the only one or people just absorbing my glow. No, I want
because that happens.
You can glow too.
Yes,
we can glow together.
Let's glow up.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I would say that it took was the therapy piece, and that's for me because, and I would encourage I can encourage that for everybody. I don't care if your life is perfect, go to therapy, because if it's perfect, that's a problem, because ain't nothing perfect.
Right.
Okay, let me crack a
You better speak.
So I did therapy, and through that process, I realized, and this is where I like to speak to my Black moms and my Black fathers, and this is why I tell you, when your life is purposeful, it will lead you. This is how I got into perinatal mental health, because experiencing birth trauma and not knowing that that's what that was. And literally, I got into a physical altercation.
Wow.
3 weeks after. 3 weeks after the birth. 3 weeks
after the birth.
Yeah. And it wasn't even healed. Girl, I say altercation, but it really wasn't an altercation. It was a one hitter, but that was it. But it was enough for the powers, they press charges, you put hands, they press charges out here.
Yes.
But sorry, but that's also Goder. Also, unfortunately, how our system is set up, because we don't have this mental health awareness and insight.
Yes.
A lot of us get criminally charged for things. That are not. It's like, dang, it really was. Like, you do understand how mental health plays a role. And baby, when it comes to these cases, because Lord, I got charged with harassment and all of this stuff. Yeah, I hit a woman. I hit her. But in my own defense,
right?
So myself, I was dealing with birth trauma and didn't know that I was actually experiencing, me, the therapist, who knows what PTSD looks like. Had no idea that I was experiencing PTSD from that birth. And literally also experienced another trauma because my mother-in-law had died 2 weeks after. 2 weeks after that, after my son was born. And that's actually why I wound up getting into conflict, because I was headed to the airport and actually was triggered as my best friend sent me her picture of her successful water birth. Both our sons, we were both scheduled, our boys were supposed to be 2 weeks apart. We were both having water births, and my son came a month and some weeks early. 4 weeks early, I think. But it was like that picture, I was happy that my best friend had her baby safe. But when I seen it, all it did was trigger me that my birth, the reality of my son, all of the appointments, because like I said, he lost oxygen and his brain was damaged. They had him on Caesar medication. We had to see, baby, them appointments get very tedious. If you are a NICU parent, speech therapy, neurologist, the actual physician appointment, all these multiple appointments that you have to tend to when your baby his brain has been affected by the birth. So, excuse me, y'all. If y'all don't notice, I jump around.
Well, but he's fine now. He's fine now. That's okay. This is real. There's no, this is not, look, this is what we do. This is a normal conversation.
Baby.
Because I just want to make people aware that, that like we said in the beginning, that this never ends, because I know after you experience something like that, and I just wanted to say that the son is fine, right? The baby's fine. He's normal, doing his own thing and different things like that. Yeah. But another thing that I also wanted you to touch on is what you just recently
Mm-hmm.
healed yourself from.
Mm-hmm.
Because we said it never stops.
Oh, yes, it don't.
This is a lifelong journey, and we have everything that we need in order to heal ourselves.
We do.
So let them know, sis. Let them know.
I'm gonna let y'all know. Self-love, y'all.
Yes.
Self-love.
Speak. Say that one more time for the people in the back.
Self-love.
All right, then.
Please, let them lead the way.
Yes.
This self-love journey that I have been on has definitely made me start to think like self-love may be the way out of a lot of these situations. A lot of these illnesses supposed to be dealing with if y'all just love on yourself a little more. Yes. And I say that, and when I say those things, I say that from a point of knowing, from a point of, baby, I've been there, and I know that it can happen. I know the change and the transformation. Yes, I did it. You know, what is it? A lot of folks, at least within the Portland community, we will know folks that are within the community that know the work I do or that have followed me. No, earlier this year, I took time off from providing therapy because, well, my life, I had a lot going on. Stress, significantly stressed. So much so that, what do we say? Stress manifests physically, right? Stress will kill you. We're not lying when we say that. I want everybody Black to hear this. Stress will kill you.
Yes.
It is not a game. It is not. So I say that because I had multiple physical manifestations of stress. Not only autoimmune, I developed an autoimmune disease. There's no history of autoimmune diseases in my family, not on either side. There are even the risk factors. I don't meet the criteria except for stress.
And that's one thing as a woman of color, as a melanated woman, as a Black woman, it's okay to have a line in the sand. It's okay to, I don't want to use the word barriers, but, boundaries, right? Because we want to do, go, and think that we can accomplish all these different things in a short period of time. But when that stress show up, baby, show up, you will have to take several seats.
Yes.
And so for you, right? Okay. So for you to be able to actually acknowledge it and to say, you know what? I appreciate everybody. I love y'all, but this is about me. It's okay to be selfish a little bit of the time, because sometimes you need to be like that in order to take care of yourself.
You do.
So I applaud you, sis. I applaud you for sitting down and taking that break, because I know if you took a break, I know it was needed, because I know the type of work you do in the community.
Yes. And I'm like, I've never burnt out. And that's the thing I also realized, that I was burnt.
Oh,
I was
burnt out. Young. You still young, girl.
I am young, baby. Work doing therapy during that pandemic, it was twofold. It was day trauma, then all the violence against us, then dealing with my own trauma. I was like, yeah, baby. Woo, no. I need to take a break. Things gotta go. So I would say that, like I said, self-love and boundaries, like, it is okay. It is okay to prioritize your needs. And that is one of the things I got to really practice in therapy. That's why I'm going to keep going back to go to therapy, because they ain't better be your best friend. So they ain't going to sugarcoat it if you got one like me. Or if you're messing with one like me too.
Right.
We ain't better sugarcoat. We're going to make you comfortable and make you feel very warm about what we deliver to you. But, it's like, I really want you to be well. It's like your attorney. When your attorney going to bat for you, they're going to bat for you, because they're looking out for your best interest. So the same with your therapist.
Right.
And they're telling you teaching and skills, they're looking out for you. So definitely setting boundaries and being able to be assertive about, what do I need? And I knew, I'm like, baby, for one, I'm too young. I had shingles. I got shingles at the beginning of this year.
Wow.
Oops, 32, baby. 32.
Oh, that's, yes.
Shingles. And autoimmune. So my body was letting me know that it was overwhelmed. It was stress. I had random rashes popping up on my body, skin lesions, just things I've never experienced. And for one, chronic pain that you cannot function. And I am a functioner. So laying in the bed, being in pain is depressing to me because I'm used to being up and about and moving. So, baby, having that sit down, going through that, it definitely, for one, strengthened my journey, my energy work I began to do. I started delving into my spiritual practice, started learning more about spirituality, different things. I was like, baby, I'm about to heal all avenues because I cannot. What I'm feeling right now, I cannot. And when I don't feel like I can function as a mom and I got to rely on my daughter, it don't feel good. I mean, it's cool. Like, I'm glad I know that if mommy's down and out, you know, you can help out a little bit. But I didn't like that.
Right.
That kind of was like, what do I need to do? I'm about to change. Like, I'm literally about to change because I cannot live like this. My skin, not being able, because literally that's why I stopped with the therapy, because it's like, I'm in chronic pain, my mood is off.
Yes.
I am not in a good mood. I'm angry. I can't show up bright and bubbly. In fact, that's why you're not seeing me.
Right.
When I disappeared, that's y'all wondering where Z was, why Z wasn't out here. Z was at home in that bed crying. Because that pain was just ridiculous. And like I said, I have a high tolerance for pain. So for me to be in the bed, down and out, it was not good. No. And so that's what kind of led me to just like, no, I'm gonna take time off from work because I don't like flaking. I don't like canceling. And that's what I was doing because my health was unpredictable. I could be good today. And then, flare up. Now I'm in pain. Now I'm moody. Now I'm feeling like, why is this happening? Yeah.
Unpredictable. Very unpredictable.
Yeah.
So it sounds like, because normally what we do as healers is we have all the advice for others.
Yes.
But sometimes we don't take our own advice, right? Because we have used it in the past, so we know that it works. So we are, you should do this for that, and that for this. But sometimes spirit sits us down and it's like, puts the mirror in our face and say, I'm gonna need you to take your own advice.
Oh, for
real.
Sit
down, take care of yourself. There's something going on. And what are you gonna do about it? So that is my next question for you. So with you experiencing that, what forms of self-love did you, how did you care for yourself in order to heal yourself?
Oh my gosh. For one, I loved on me. Like literally loved on me. I started taking care of myself, taking pride in small little things. And it's little habits or little routines that you don't even realize the power of, such as a facial, literally doing a facial routine, something I started to just, you know what? I never in my life has really tried to take care of my skin. But now I'm like, I want to take care of my whole life. I don't just want to take care of one piece. Now, I was like, I want to take care of everything. So I started cleansing a tube from, I'm gonna shout her out. Go ahead, PDX, got it. Yes. Own oils, facial cream, CBD infused, everything.
Wow.
That regimen. And I'm like, that was one thing that I said I was going to do to show up for me first at the start of the day. So that's one thing I changed. I was like, I'm not getting up and jumping into mommy mode neither. I'm not waking up and jumping out right onto breakfast no more. No. I'm gonna wake up and I start my routine. It's my facial cleanser and serum. And when I'm doing that, I say affirmations or I listen to a meditation. And I'm like, I just started putting me at the forefront. Really realizing prioritizing me helps the whole gang. Okay.
Yes. When mommy is right, everybody is right.
Everybody. And when I'm not,
everybody
else. And that's a problem. So, so really it was that, doing something regiment wise, routine. And then also, like I said, I started engaging in Reiki, because that was something I also found to be helpful throughout the pandemic.
Yes.
Increased acupuncture. I'm all about body based, because I'm like, I could work here all day. I done did a lot of heavy lifting here, to where
in the mental.
Yes. Oh yeah, I forget. This also could be audio in the brain. Right. Yes, we done did that mental work. So I've been centering, and since a lot of, the things I was experiencing was physical, like I said, rashes, pain. I was looking more into what can I do to relieve some of that pain. So I got into crystal healing as well, and had a queen sis out here make me some waist beads with crystals that were for autoimmune support. And I literally wore that immediately. I've been wearing it since she made it, which was shortly after I kind of, once I found out what I was dealing with, then I was like, okay, I could do, like, that's what I was. Something's going on here. Give me answers and I'll figure out how to heal myself naturally, because I'm not taking that medication that you just told me for the rest of my life.
Ooh.
Yeah. So crazy. But yeah, so I did that. I spent a lot of time reflecting, journaling, so much writing. So, I mean, when you have space from work, from everything, I would say, even from your partner, the clarity, the way that you can just think when your mind is not into all these other responsibilities or all roles that you have to do. It's like, I had time to really think and connect with me. And that's something that I don't know that a lot of us really have time for, when you're thinking about your week and parenting and all that you really think and sit down, like carving out that time for you. So that was something I got very unapologetic about. Like, I need my me time. It has to happen. It's no longer negotiable. I need it. This is why I need it. That was very helpful. But I would say this, for me, the biggest things that helped me heal from my autoimmune disease, to be honest, I think I'm going to say one was changing my lifestyle from alkaline vegan, because that also contributed to my stress.
Oh, yes.
Significantly. And the foods that were cut out of my diet also contributed to that autoimmune, because it was key nutrients in certain of the fruits that I eliminated in pineapples that play a very important role when it comes to your connective tissues.
Really?
Yes.
Pineapple actually helps with the lungs as well.
Yes, pineapples help with a lot, and it's like, you don't realize everything is not for everybody.
Yes.
And I say that because now I've traveled the alkaline journey. It was not for ZaDora. It contributed. Between that and my marriage, those are two major changes I made in 6 months. And this is how long it took, quote unquote, to heal myself. 6 months. Because, and I tell you, 6 months is when I found out I had the autoimmune disease. I was experiencing symptoms since March of last year. Since March of 2019 is when I had my first rash, and it was isolated, so it was no biggie. I wasn't a lot going on. Then rash number 2 and rash number 3. After this, okay, something's up. But what? Yeah, I gotta go back and retrain my thought on where the heck was I going.
But you were speaking about how the alkaline vegan diet was not for you. It actually made it worse.
Yes, because it came with a lot of stress and anxiety, overeating. To be honest, to this day, my appetite has not been regained. I struggle to eat now. I eat 1 meal a day, 2 if I'm lucky. but I try. I really try. So that's something I also, I put into my work with people because I understand. Like, when you said balance, Libra, that's what I learned. Balance is key. It does not have to be all or nothing. Yes. And that is what alcohol is like. Okay, all or nothing. Like, I could be alkaline in the house, but look at how often am I actually in my house?
Right.
Most of the time you're out and about running errands, which that's why fast food comes in. But it became pretty much very much a struggle to find food when you're out and about, or good, or you don't pack stuff to go, or you do, and then you go through your snacks, and it just became a source of stress for me. It was already a source of stress, because I instantly just kind of transitioned into it. Right. But it's just really making that decision on listening to your body and not what others say, because your body is the one that will let you know if something is for you or if it ain't. Not not me. I can tell you something, but if it ain't for you, it ain't for you. So that was a piece. And like I said, also loving on my biggest act of self-love was actually making a decision to end my marriage. And that is my biggest act of self-love. And can I tell you, my God is so happy with me. So happy. So happy. My ancestors are all happy with me. And they've been showing. And when you really when you listen, because they speak to you. No, for real. And that is one thing that this journey has shown me. And I wish, how when you feel it, you want other people to feel that. Yes. And I'm like, I know what it is to be guided. I know what it is to see the signs, to ignore them, and to feel the wrath of when you disobey. Because don't think that autoimmune shingles was not harassed, because I disobeyed. I was already told to let that relationship, to let my marriage go. You didn't listen. I didn't. And that is a thing, like, not to interrupt you, but when we don't listen to the ancestors, like, I don't know about everybody else's ancestors, they will come back with a fierce wrath. Because we're not here for no reason. We are not here for no reason. We have reincarnated. We are the ancestors walking on the earth. And we have a mission, a divine mission. And if we come here and we get off course, oh, baby, I hope you got real thick skin. Right. Because it's not going to be good. They're going to readjust you real quick. Right, because they're going to line you up. They're going to line you, because this life is not only about us, it's for 7 generations back. Yes. And 7 generations forward. Yes. Right? You already know Sankofa. That's the name of your business. That's why it's that name. Yes. From my own healing journey of how I had to go back to be able to go forward. I had to go back and heal those past traumas and work through this and break this curse and baby. Look. When I tell these folks, I'm beyond my years. I'm 32, but baby, my ancestors. Yes, I done been here. You look. You the great grandma of somebody. Because baby, I've always, and that's why I kind of feel that's why I've always ran with an older crew. Yeah, baby, my crew's never been my age. Now I'm surprised. Like, you like for what? Right. Yes, boo. I am. You know what? I love that, because you kind of veered or made a segue into the next question, which is for those who are listening. What would you want us to ponder on today with everything that you've mentioned and said? What would be your point of contemplation for us to kind of sit with and think about? I would say, how are you loving on yourself?
Yes.
How are you loving on yourself?
Yes.
And how much time do you spend doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a priority for you?
Yes.
And does that time that you spend actually reflect that? Because, like I said, I want people to get on that journey of self-love, of self, and really being intentional about, okay, you say you care about yourself, right? But your actions, how are you showing? Because right now I'm seeing you show up for everybody. Right. And you ain't show up for yourself at all this month. You know what I'm saying? So, it's really, I really want people to ponder on that.
I love that.
How are you loving on you? And if you're not, start. It's one thing you can do to love on you. And trust me, it's not materialistic at all. It's about, you know what? Let me see, how am I loving on myself? Am I doing myself justice by avoiding or hiding or not processing something? Am I loving on myself, or am I doing myself a injustice right now? Everything is situational. Because sometimes we have to temporarily avoid something. But are you going back to like, hey, I don't have capacity for this. Right. I'll pin this. But let me get my capacity together, and then I'm gonna come and I can deal with this situation.
Yes.
So, just really, that's what I want people to ponder on. How are you loving on you? Who are you? Do you really love you?
Right.
Have you told anybody you love you?
Look.
Hey, I love me. Because that's what I've been doing. I text people randomly now and tell them, yo, I love you. And I just thought you should know. Instead of just saying I love you all the time. I want to hear the words that I love myself too. So I can start valuing myself more, because I see the way I take care of everyone else I love. Maybe when I start saying I love me, I'll start actually doing that same thing.
Right. Right.
So that's how I like, I really like people to just explore ways to love themselves. And if you find that you have a hard time loving yourself, why?
Right.
Because trust and believe, when you do let love lead the way for yourself, you're going to be surprised how the blessings are going to flow.
Yes.
When you're loving on you, it's just going to radiate. It's going to. And that's what I'm living in. I'm living in the era of, hey, I just met me 3 years ago, girl. I just met me 3 years ago. I'm in love with her. Girl.
Right.
This baby. Before 3 years ago. No. I was not in love with ZaDora. I was still very much low self-esteem and insecure. And now I'm here like,
but look at her now, y'all. What is that? I'm sorry, what?
Confidence on the right. I don't care who's in the room. Seriously. And it's like, that's what self-love will do. Yeah. Your self-esteem will improve when you start to honor yourself. Being assertive, setting boundaries, really being authentic. Like, people speak to me and ask me how I'm doing. I don't lie.
Say that again, sis. You sound kind of broken up. When you're close, we can hear you.
Okay, I said, when people, I just be more authentic. Like, I really try to show up more authentic. And when people even ask me, like, how you doing? I don't lie. I don't say the casual good or fine. If I'm having a bad day, I'm like, my day is trash. I'm not doing it right now. I know it'll get better, but right now it's high garbage. But I just really think people need to, it's okay. It's different ways you can show up and practice self-love. Like, I've been practicing being vulnerable.
Yes.
Tell people what's going on with me. I practice actually letting people support me this year. That's a kicker right there.
That's right
people
there.
Help you.
They do. They want to help.
They do.
Yeah.
And that's really what I try to normalize with the whole self-love, self-care, and even with the work that I do with moms is like, when you actually let your community know what's up, you'll actually see that they're going to meet the demand, baby, tenfold.
Yes.
Because I can tell you. And I don't know if it's just Z, you know what I mean? And I do have to give that disclaimer. Like, I don't know. Y'all could say it's just me, but like, what I've seen, I ain't seen nobody not have my back out here, period. Those within my village, going through divorce, and I mean, these are professional people. These are not my best friends. These are not my sisters. They my village. Yes. And you know what? When they caught wind of what was going on, me going through a divorce, baby, elders, pouring love, opening
showed up,
baby. How can I support you? You need to be loved. I'm glad you're taking this. You know what I'm saying? And I want people to know that, because so many times Black women get pigeoned into that strong Black woman narrative. Oh, ain't nobody going with me anyways. I don't want no help with that. Like, I'm here to tell you, it feels so much better to let some of that pride go. Yes. And to not carry everything and to not have to do it all. I am enjoying asking and receiving.
You better
receive.
But first you gotta let go of some of that stuff so something can get in, right?
Exactly.
Release to receive.
You do.
Yes.
And then that's why I'm like, that cleansing, I'm telling you, that time off was for me and my spirit.
Yes.
That time off was for healing my inner child. It was everything. It was everything. And I did it through the pain of even when I know I don't want to do this stuff.
Yes.
You know how you said, we get to these, we know the tools, but sometimes we don't want to use them ourselves. It's like, that's the thing. And that's what I tell folks the most is, when you find it the hardest to practice, that's exactly when you need to practice.
Oh, yes. It's like working out.
No, for real.
When you don't want to go to the gym, you might want to go to the gym.
Go.
It's going to be your best day.
Yes. And when you speak of techniques, right? I do a lot of tapping techniques. You
do a lot of what techniques?
Tapping.
Oh.
Working with the emotional freedom techniques for doing the acupressure, tapping on these different meridian points so that you can get grounded in your body and kind of reset. Oh, those. And I've been working with my vagus nerve. So that's what I'm doing. Toning my vagus nerve so that I can have capacity, so that my tolerance and my recoil when I'm triggered I can get back to my rest and digest quicker. I can get back into calm mode. Back into right. Hey y'all, I'm back either drained, fatigued, or feeling overwhelmed by whatever's going on.
Right. That's a wonderful point of contemplation. So say if there are people out there that would love to work with you or hear about something that you have coming up next, sis. I know you got something up your sleeve. Like, what do you have coming up next?
Okay.
And how could our listeners reach you?
Yes, you can always reach me. You can reach me via social media, of course. Facebook and Instagram is at Sankofa_CFH. And my website is www.sankofacenterforhealing.com. As well as, I have a project. Right now, I'll be leading a parenting workshop on the 30th of this month. 5th day of Kwanzaa, y'all. Nia. We are talking about purpose.
Yes.
Engaging in some purposeful healing, because I'll be talking with our parents, Black parents, about stress and anxiety. So, like I said, this is an opportunity to engage, to build skills. Everyone's always talking about they want to heal generational trauma, wants some generational healing, everything. I'm like, this is that opportunity, because not only am I here to give you the tools, it's also a space for Black parents to come together and actually talk about these things.
Yes.
In a welcomed environment, because it's so many of us that walk around experiencing things, not even realizing that, oh, no, that's a thing. That's not just, it's just me. No, it's a whole, oh, that's anxiety. Oh, this tension in my neck is from my anxiety. I didn't know. I've been feeling it forever. Yes. Yes. So that is where people can find me. And I also will be starting accepting clients again in January. So I will be back.
Yes. There we go.
Doing the word. So yes.
I love that. So for your workshop, is that in person and online?
So it's online. Right now it's virtually, and you can find it on Eventbrite if you search parenting through stress and anxiety. But I do have some that will be coming up that I'm currently working on in person. But, with more holistic healers and things. So
yes.
As this comes together.
So it sounds like there's going to be a part 2.
Always.
I love that. You know what? Thank you, sis, for sharing your story with us today. Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for your authenticity, all that stuff you mentioned for others to, for them to stay within that energy. Thank you for exuding that energy, as well as this was fun. I mean, this was really fun. Okay. But before you go, one question that I always like to ask people is, knowing that we will one day be an ancestor because we are all ancestors in training, what legacy would you like to leave behind for those who will come after you? And that could be not just like physical, it could be mental, it could be healing, it could be whatever you want it to be.
It's funny because I just had the conversation with my sister. Like, we talk about generational wealth so much, and we're always talking about it in money form. I'm leaving the legacy of generational wealth in the mental and emotional form.
Yes.
My legacy would be a legacy of healing. Like, wow, look at the way our family was able to transition and heal. Like, look at the older generations versus what's going on now. And that is the legacy. A legacy of healing, a legacy of communication, a legacy of honoring yourself. Doing what's best for you, no matter how hard it is. Because knowing that the payout is greater, it's really greater when you invest in yourself, when you take care of yourself. So that is the legacy. Take care of yourself. Heal. Baby, don't let these folks control you. If it's one thing, I'm going to be dropping nothing but mental health.
Right.
You take care of that mental, the physical is going to improve, your spirit, everything. Like,
everything.
That's everything. I just want us to be, that's the legacy, baby. Glow up, heal, and thrive.
Right. Mentally, spiritually, and physically.
Yes.
Thank you, sis. So is there anything else that you might want to add that we didn't get to touch on at this time?
Everybody go get therapy now.
Hey!
No, but let me think intentionally for a second. Okay.
Yes. Really think about that. Ponder on that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. It's always an honor and experience. And thank you for sharing your healing journey. And we love you. And for all of those who are listening, we are sending love. We are sending light. Don't forget to heal. If you need a therapist, like ZaDora said, run and go do that. All right.
Right.
Peace and love.